Hello, welcome to my new series, Things I Should Have Already Done, Part 1. Now that unfortunately summer has wrapped up, we're going into more of the cozy season. I even wore a sweater yesterday. I was like, I really need to tackle all of the things that I should have done sometime in summer and I never did. And as I was making the list, I realized just how much it was. So I thought that I would break it down into more digestible pieces for both you and I. And today I figured we would focus more on philodendrons and moss poles. And then hopefully, or I'm hoping that I will be able to get this done in 3-4 series tops. So I'm hopeful we can get through this in, a relatively manageable amount of time and rather quickly because yeah, some of the stuff I should have done quite several weeks and even months ago, or even before summer even started, and then I just never did. But today we're gonna focus on philodendrons and moss poles, and I have made a list so that we can stay on task. So we're gonna do 2 pole extensions on my Philodendron Splendid and my Snow Queen. We are going to be restarting and chopping completely back my Monstera Esqueleto. The Patriciae philodendron needs a repot, and actually we can talk more about it later, but it's currently in a self-watering pot in an aroid mix, so soils I believe is what I have it in, and I don't have a larger self-watering pot for it necessarily. So I ordered something and it should arrive today, and I'm hoping it'll arrive while I'm filming so that I can include it here. And then my Philodendron Gloriosum that I have been propagating is ready to be potted up, so we'll do that one as well. Hopefully that sounds good to you. Let's get into it. The dogs are here. Say hi. Say hi. He just woke up from a nap. Okay, I figured we would start with the easier tasks, which are just moss pole extension. My Snow Queen is in a Russo grow pole, and the Splendid is on a Grow Thickly medium 3.0 that opens in the front. So I'll build the poles, I'll fill them with moss, and we'll extend them and then be good to go, and then we'll move on from there. You've seen me build these before, so I'll probably just speed through it, and I can definitely note down in the description any videos where I've gone more into detail on these, but these are for sure my favorite. They're so easy to assemble, so easy to put on the plant. They're nice and sturdy because they have that kind of closed back. They hold on to more moisture. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that I can ever see myself making a wire moss pole from scratch. I don't know that I'm that serious about my moss poles. It's so amazing to see people that do them. I don't know. Ta-da! Let's do the Snow Queen first. I really actually don't think it matters which one we do first, but let's just do the Snow Queen. Here she is. You can see I lost several of the bottom leaves due to underwatering, but look at the size these leaves started, and look at the size they are now. Look at this one. I'm really excited to get this one nice and big, and oh my gosh, can you imagine if it fenestrated? I don't know what I would do, but I'm actually realizing that half the pole is empty, so we need to fill this up first. And I guess it would be due for an extension because the last node would be right up here, so it's better to just get it up there. So let's fill this up and then we'll go ahead and do the extension on it. I'm actually going to bring you up so I can bring her onto my potting mat, because as much as I try to not be messy, we know that I am. So now we're ready for the extension. And these Russo poles just nest right into each other, so it's super easy. She's extended, but I do need to anchor some of these vines, and then it looks like this vine has taken over, so it's pushing this one out of the way. So let me anchor those on, and then she's all set. But you can, I don't know if the glare will let you see, she's rooted onto the pole really nicely, and not quite due for an upsize, but soon probably. I can't believe, like, I know that this isn't huge by any means, but comparison to where it started, like, look at the size, and then look at these sizes, so cute. Let me grab my grafting tape. I don't know that you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, but basically I'm gonna do just what I did in like these previous nodes, is attach the node with grafting tape onto the pole to encourage those aerial roots to root onto the pole. Yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to see very well. Oh my gosh, this is so tilty now. Nothing we can do about it now until we repot. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna just place it in its catch pot for weight. So hopefully it can just be a little bit more sturdy for me. And I'm gonna start with these bottom ones. This is really tippy. Okay, I think there's 3 vines in here. Okay, she's all set. Oh my gosh, she is so tippy. Here she is. Everything's attached now. Hopefully it'll keep growing up there, and that's good because the last node is right here and the extension starts just right here, so there's not a lot of room, but all done. Up next, my Philodendron Splendid. If you can see, I did lose 2 of the bottom leaves because we all know I'm a chronic underwaterer, but in general, this guy's doing so well. So he does need a little bit of a moss pole top off. I'll bring you up so you can see, and then we'll add the extension. But he's been such a great grower for me. I really just love this plant so much. And I asked my Instagram if I should just chop it now, and everyone said that I should extend it at least 1 more time, so that's what we're doing. also gonna anchor like this last node onto the pole. Someone asked why I don't just like use the pole clippings to put them in there, but I've had experience where the leaf starts trying to grow inside the pole, and then that, not with this particular plant, but with other plants. So I would just rather use the grafting tape and then just remove that once, you know, it's in there. Can you see how tall this is? I also like to use these little clips to clip the leaves kind of close to the pole, just for like space saving purposes. Not that I don't like how beautiful it would fan out otherwise. Okay, here he is. You can't even like appreciate him, I'm sure. Just because he's so tall, I have to be so far away. But he is looking good. I'm so excited. I took a tiny little break, had a snack, cleaned up the sphagnum moss mess, and let's resume. I think let's do the Esqueleto next. I recently featured her in my Monstera collection video, if you saw that. And I showed you, I grew this super long runner because I never filled up the moss bowl or extended or anything. I am starting to lose some bottom leaves, and overall it just, I don't know, it's never looked the best. It has such great roots. I really hate to lose the base of the plant. So I'm thinking I'm gonna leave 2 nodes on the plant, and hopefully those will regrow, and then everything else will just be an individual node, and then all of these will obviously be wet sticks. And yeah, let's see how that goes. Hopefully this isn't too painful of a project. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start and chop right here. What is this? Oh, I'm gonna chop right here, which is where the runner starts. And yeah, we will. Oh, so cool. You can see the axillary bud right there. Yeah, let's just cut this. I'm gonna make them shorter, but for now. This looks like it might have actually been wanting to push out a leaf. Maybe I'll put this one in water. I don't know, we'll think about it. But that is that. And then we'll just start going, yeah, just individually. One thing about this is the vine is quite chunky. There's a lot of roots in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to chop and see how it goes. Go ahead and get rid of this leaf. pretty good to get it started. The nodes are so close together, I'm a little bit worried to chop this again into individual nodes. I don't think I can. I think I'm gonna have to leave this like this. Unless I get rid of both leaves so that I can see. Let's think about this. And I think I'll chop one more node so I can leave 2 on the plant. So there's 2 nodes left in here, 2 or 3, 2 left in here. So we'll see if those pop up any more growth. I'm gonna put it back exactly where it was so it can be in the same conditions. Since the pot is already like really fully rooted and you know, just everything is healthy down there, it should pop out new growth, but we'll see. And as for these, we're just gonna root individually. So this one I'm gonna leave as is. This one I'll leave as is. This one I can cut. I'll leave this one as is, and this is just wet stick. And then this is the one that I was debating what to do, because the leaves can't, even though this is yellowing and this one's looking malnourished, they can still provide energy to help root. I just think that this is just way too, like I can't really see where I can chop. I think I'll leave it also just like this, just in case. Okay. So I'm gonna be rooting all of these in perlite. So I'll do cups for those with leaves, and then I have a little seedling tray I will do for all of the wet sticks. I'm gonna add this one just in a cup of perlite since it was the top cut and it seems like there might have been a leaf coming. Here are the wet sticks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wet sticks plus 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half-ish leaf cuttings because one hasn't emerged yet. So let's hope that they root up quickly. All of these are gonna go over in my laundry area. I'm going to try to put the esqueletos in one of those clear boxes, and then these are just going to be as is. I'm out of the ones that have the little light on them. So yeah, this will just go in my laundry area over the lights that I have hanging over there, but that's done. I cleaned up a little bit again, got the esqueletos where they're supposed to be, and now let's tackle my Philodendron Patriciae. Patrice? I don't know, what's the proper name? I've gone back and forth as to whether I need to or should be adding a moss pole onto it. I really can't seem to find great examples of people's mature Patriciaes. I assume it needs a moss pole, but it's also growing really well straight up right now, and you know, the leaves are hanging nicely. So I think for now, I'm not going to add a moss pole, but I do want to get it out of this pot because it has that clear reservoir that was giving me all the algae, and it is, you know, this is pretty tiny. So I'd like to get it into a nicer setup. I do want to keep it in a self-watering situation because I found when I first got it, I didn't have it as a self-watering, and it was just, I couldn't keep up with its watering. I find it to be a lot thirstier than other philodendrons, or at least just a lot thirstier than my care habits call for. So I put it in a self-watering pot, and then ever since it's just been doing so much better. So I didn't have, or I don't have, a self-watering pot in the size that I was looking for this. I looked and I didn't really find any that I was into, but I found this other thing that we're going to be using, and I'm excited to try it. I'm like kind of DIYing this whole situation that we're going to do with this Patriciae. So by no means, I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, but in my head it makes sense, and I hope that it works out. So this is just like a ramen soup container that I used my soldering iron to add drainage. It was a priority for me to add drainage to the pot that it's actually going to be potted in. It's not very big, but it is quite a jump from, oh my gosh, from this tiny little pot that it was in. And I like that it's a little bit taller. I think that that's going to be good for it. And then I'm gonna be placing it in this ceramic. It actually fits perfectly in there. And this is how I'm gonna make it self-watering. I found this thing on Amazon looking for self-watering pots. It's called plant straws. One end in water and one end in the dirt. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. One end is shorter, and that's the one that goes in the pot. And then the other side of the wick goes in water. So, I mean, it's nothing like revolutionary or crazy, but I thought that it was cute and aesthetic, and I like the idea of having like a glass reservoir next to the plant with the cute little brass arch. Why can't I talk? Yeah, and we'll see how it goes, hopefully well. So what I am going to do is this shorter end, I'm just going to place it in here, and then we'll pot it up accordingly. But actually, oh, so this is the water container I thought that I would use for this, and I guess it's important for me. In my head this all makes sense, but let's see if the execution matches. This is actually just plain water. I figured that when I water it thoroughly, that's when I can do my nutrient-rich cocktail, but otherwise to keep it moist, I would just do regular water, and I'm just gonna add like a drop or two, or you know, a squirt of hydrogen peroxide. Someone asked if I was worried that the hydrogen peroxide would kill all of the nutrients, and I had no idea about that the first time I did it, but when I looked, like, I didn't even think about it. But I did a little bit of research, and everyone that grows in hydroponics or people that are giving advice on hydroponics do advise on a tiny little bit of hydrogen peroxide to keep the water clean of bacteria and fungus. So it also helps with oxygen in the water. So I'm going to do that until, like, if I obviously see my plant, something's going wrong with the plant, it's not getting nutrients, etc., then I would change things up. But yeah, I'm no expert, just from what I've read. I feel like I'm getting caught up in my head as to how this is gonna be. I don't know why. But let's just go ahead and put this end in there. Oh, I guess they showed a narrow mouth thing in the picture for a reason, because otherwise, let me get something else. Okay, I brought this thing instead. I'll add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. We will switch this up. And add this in here. I want to kind of hold on to the wick up here just because I don't want it to be super buried. I have this currently potted in soul soil, so I'm going to keep it there. I find soul soils to be great for a lot of reasons, but it works really well on anything I have in self-watering. So we're just gonna keep it in the mix. And then also look at this scoop. Isn't it so pretty? They did such a good job with these. I'm seeing some yuckiness from the algae, but I really don't want to disturb this. I'm also so surprised to see see that the roots are so fine. Can you even see them? So I just kind of placed the wick around. Ah, I can't just lift and show you. And then that should work. Okay, so this is what this looks like. It works. I'm actually gonna get this out of here so that I can give it a whole rinse through in the sink, and then we will set her up. But I think this is gonna look super cute. I'm into it. I'm just realizing I forgot to add myco, but I didn't disturb the roots, so hopefully just the nutrients should be good. And oops, get its cash pot. Oh, I think this looks adorable, actually. I am really into this setup. We have one more on our list today, and it's my Philodendron Gloriosum. How cute is this little guy? So I don't know, if you've been here for a minute, you might know that I've struggled with Philodendron Gloriosum. It was doing so well. I had it inside my Milsbo tall cabinet, and out of nowhere, it just started yellowing leaves. It looked really bleached, like it was getting too much light. I tried to move it out of the cabinet, but I feel like it was probably just too late. I also think that I find these to not like to dry out like other philodendrons, so it's thirstier than my watering habits. And I do think it was probably getting too much light in the cabinet. So anyway, I chopped it and I propagated a chunk. So this was like leafless, just a wet stick that I was able to grow back. My mother plant, I unfortunately underwatered as well. But I told myself if this made it, then I would try this in pond, since pond seems to alleviate all of those underwatering issues for me. So we are going to pot it up into pond. It is ready. Don't know if the glare will let you see, but there are lots of roots in there. They look nice, pink and healthy, and I mean, oh, so adorable. So I'm excited to get him pot up, and hopefully he's gonna start thriving for me. I'm so sorry, I don't think I was recording when I brought it out of the perlite, but I also just dipped it in water to try to get rid of most of it. The roots look so nice. This is what I brought to pot it in. It's very tiny. Yeah, I think it's okay. I'm gonna keep it in here just for now as I transition it onto pond, which should be a pretty easy transition. I'm so happy looking at all of these roots. So very soon and quickly I will need an upsize, but that's okay. She's so cute. This is my nutrient-rich cocktail. Okay, here he is. He is looking so cute. I'm so excited to have this back in my collection. There's something about me that wants to put him back in the cabinet, but I really know that I shouldn't. So I think it actually might live on top of my Millsbow wide, where it gets some light from the vertical light and my Russo light. And then hopefully I can finally grow it nice and happy. We got through part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. I think part 2 I will focus on all of the different Monstera projects that I have, but I may change it up, so stay tuned. Hopefully that'll be in the next few days, and I'll be done with all of the stuff that I should have done a long time ago before I know it. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up or an emoji if you watched all the way through. Feel free to ask me questions. I love chatting with you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.